Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? It's top of the week, man. Top of the morning, top of the week, Monday. Niggas heading to do what it is that they do to earn a living. But peep game, man, we got to get into this shit, man. And that's man, oh man, oh man, Devin Haney, man. I done made a few videos, and I just it was every video, while I'm in the midst of making them, I'm like I don't think I hit on every point that I wanted to hit on in this video, so I'm gonna just have to talk about it again. And I've done it a few times because I'm really just trying to wrap my mind around this whole situation, man. I've supported Devin Haney, right? Like I've been a fan of Haney. I've been a fan of his. He's not one of my favorite fighters. He was once upon a time, but after that Loma fight, I was like, nah. He's still a talented fighter. I didn't agree with the win, but I didn't jump out the window and say that it was a robbery neither, because I can understand the case as to why somebody would think that he won. But I'm just not the biggest fan of Devin Haney. The dude is an incredible fighter, though. He is. He really is. And maybe down the line we could revisit whether he's one of my favorites to watch or not, man. But just his deeds and the steps that he's taken, in his career thus far, has really caused me to be like, yo, just kind of, it ruffled my feathers with him. You dig? Him not running it back with Lomachenko, I think was the first thing was him him demanding this fight be put on pay-per-view. That was kind of like, that was kind of like, yo, this isn't necessarily a pay-per-view fight, because neither one of y'all are pay-per-view names like that. Y'all don't have the market power. I mean, the drawing power and the market value to justify this fight being put behind a paywall. Y'all are relatively unknown fighters. You dig? I thought that was some Hollywood bullshit, and Devin Haney was a dude who, you traveled to Australia twice or whatever. All right, cool. And the bullshit deal that you took in, to obtain that undisputed title, the accolade. It was, you had to salute that. Like, yo, man, most niggas wouldn't even have did that shit, man. But what does it say about us as Americans to where that's something that needs to be congratulated and, clapped and, given a round of applause for, when foreign fighters do this all the time? You dig? I mean, we're so enamored with this thought of Americans not having to go outside of their jurisdiction and comfort zones that we tried to tell Stephen Fulton not to go over there to Japan to fight Naoya Inoue, even though the market for that particular division and those smaller weight classes, they're vibrant over there. But we're so, our heads are stuck up our asses to the point where we would tell him not to go over there and get $3 million, because we shouldn't have to leave our homeland, our foreign, we shouldn't have to leave our home to go over there and fight on foreign soil and risk being, bullshitted by the judges. We shouldn't have to do that as Americans, but foreign fighters do that all the time. But that's a completely different story for another video. So you did that or whatever, man. You fight Lomachenko. You don't get Lomachenko the rematch, or whatever the fuck ever. Then you turn around and you fight Regis Prograis on pay-per-view as well. And your minds are so convoluted with y'all just thinking that y'all being a superstar, and once you've had a fight put behind the paywall, that automatically interjects you into superstar status. You and your dad was really baffled when niggas was not, when the numbers for the pay-per-view buys just wasn't what y'all thought it was. It's like, y'all don't get it, man. Y'all don't get it. All the other, you ain't even got to get into the shit, with Eddie Hearn and all that. You get mad at Eddie Hearn for not bidding on one of their, bidding on your fight and everything, and then you relinquishing your belt or whatever, man. I don't want to, I'm gonna come in at the weight that I want to come in at. I'm gonna fight at the weight that I want to fight at. Y'all can have the belt. You dig? And just all, you just really went on a temper tantrum after you lost that, you didn't lose the fight, you got your O back. But after that fight with Ryan Garcia, man, and then, that of course brings us to this shit right here. You've been in the, the tabloids twice, the boxing media tabloids at least, man, with you throwing shade at Eddie Hearn for him not being able to get you a ticket or whatever, then you clapping at him online, and then you want to sue Ryan Garcia in the court of law. Bro, listen, man. Listen, this is the most caring. It gets no more white woman, middle-aged, middle American white woman than this, man. This is tragic. You beat me up, so I'm gonna call the police on you. I'm gonna sue you. I'll see you in court, man. Listen, this is a gladiator sport, and this type of behavior is unbecoming of a champion. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. This is a brutal sport. The only way to get your get back is in that ring, unless it's something in the contract that that was played. Like when you look at the Wilder and Fury fight, that wasn't because what happened to what happened to Deontay Wilder. That was for breach of contract. They'll try to, muddy the argument by saying, oh, well, Tyson Fury cheated. Had he not cheated, then we wouldn't be getting the trilogy. And it's like, no, the lawsuit was due to breach of contract. You're trying to get out of this fight, and I'm not having it. I want my get back. Okay, that right there is a different ball game. That right there is a different ball game. You are suing another professional fighter for battery. You are suing another as a professional fighter. You will sue a professional fighter for battery. You beat me up, so I'll see you in court. That is some shit that I'll never stand on that shit. I'll never stand behind some shit like that, my nigga. Like, that shit is corny. That shit corny as fuck. You crashed me, so I'ma sue you. I don't see how anybody can condone that type of behavior, that type of just sucker shit. That's some police shit to me. That's some police shit for any nigga from around the way, man. You do not sue a nigga because he went in there because he beat you in a fight. You can't beat him, sue him. Come on, man. This is what we doing. I'm not one of them niggas who think that you come from money and I mean I do think you come from money, but not to the point where you're silver spoon fed. You're silver spoon. You was born with a silver spoon in your mouth. I don't think it was to that degree. Your dad was getting it out the mud. So if your dad was getting it out the mud, that money that you come from is dirty. So that the residue from that dirty money is gonna rub off on you to some degree. So I don't think you was whitewashed and spoon fed and preppy and pompous as a lot of people would make you out to believe. I don't think square ass nigga. I don't. I could be wrong, but I've never gotten that vibe from you. Yeah, I ain't never gotten that vibe from you as no cornball ass nigga, man. But and your pop should know better. Your pop should know better. And the fact that he would sit here and justify this shit, that just goes to show, man, like y'all niggas is really on some sucker shit. There's nobody on your team that's telling you, man, nah, this ain't it. I don't give a fuck how all them other charges mean nothing because you are talking about suing a nigga for battery. Battery, bro. Battery. Let's talk battery. Another professional fighter you are suing for beating your ass. This is a byproduct of people thinking that just the preservation of your O is everything. Yeah, your O is still intact, but I was never supposed to lose in the manner that I lost to against you that night. I don't even want to say this, but the only justification for this lawsuit is if you was to hold it over Ryan's head or some shit like that. That would be the only justification. That would be the only justification. You know what I'm saying? The only justification. And even then, it's still corny. Why? Because Ryan Garcia, he's going to want that rematch because there's no big fight out there for him like that after this shit. All the backstory with this pay-per-view was going to drag out numbers. So he's not going to go nowhere and fight nobody else. He's talking about fighting in Japan, bro. You didn't talk. I don't know if that's still being talked about, but he's talking about fighting in Japan. You are talking about, just you turned down a fight with Liam Paro. Now, I don't blame you for that because that right there was a fight that I wasn't so sure that you could win. But I don't blame you for that. But you just going to chill on the sidelines until April? Just because you're that, like, come on, man. What just your antics and how you moving, man? It's unbecoming of a fighter. It's unbecoming of a champion, a former undisputed champion, a 2-division champion. You just look like the sucker right now, man, doing this shit. You dig? I'm watching your interview with Ward. Now, granted, I'm not mad at you for going and getting that interview with Ward because I feel like it was therapeutic for you. And every fighter needs somebody that they can go and talk to, man. Everybody needs a fighter that they can go and talk to. So I'm not mad at that at all. But there is some shit that is having me like, You keep complaining about the weight. You figured he was gonna come in overweight. That's why y'all made that bet. You shook on that bet at the presser. I remember that. You shook on that bet, bro. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, cool. You come overweight. Yeah, I think you probably got like over I think you got like over $1 million for that. So the weight wasn't the issue. You was confident going into this fight, bro, before all that. Now the PED use. So I'm not about to sit there and justify Ryan popping dirty. I'm about to justify that. No, fuck him. Fuck out of here. It also helps that I don't like Ryan Garcia. Yes, he's a cheat. He's a drug cheat. He's a drug cheat. But you're also not in the, I don't think you're used to fighting somebody who is, who's eye level with you and just as strong as you and just as big as you. You have been the grotesquely oversized fighter in the bigger fights that matter. You outweighed Regis Prograis and you outweighed Lomachenko. It wasn't an issue when you was coming in at 165 or whatever. It wasn't. Now, it wasn't. But now we want to complain about him coming into the weigh-ins 3 pounds overweight and him chugging a beer after they weighed in or whatever, just trolling shit. I get it, but at what point do you say, all right, yeah, like I was on that same type time for a minute. I ain't gonna cap. Well, when do we hold you? When you have no responsibility in anything that you've done? Ryan's whole ass is a drug cheat. Yeah, definitely, man. But don't talk about weight and all that shit. And I did everything right and he did everything wrong. Which you're not wrong about that. You're honestly not wrong about that, man. But you don't have to be wrong. You can be right and still be in the wrong. Let's not sit here and act like you innocent of everything, man. Like, no. In this fight, you just, you kind of got a taste of your own medicine. All while Ryan being a drug cheat. Y'all niggas are Spartans, man. Y'all that ring and that octagon, that shit that, just that, what the Muay Thai fighters is doing, with the jiu-jitsu practitioners, even what they're doing with martial arts now, man, karate and all that, and kung fu, where they're taking and they're advancing these, these Asiatic combative forms of fighting. They're taking that and they're advancing it. It's not like Bruce Lee called it. It's not about to just be dry land swimming. Like, nah, I'm not going to score on a best case scenario or a what if I would have hit you with this, then y'all would have did this and that. No, you're going to have to hit him. That's why Bruce didn't fight in them tournaments. You're like, no, man, this just don't prove nothing right here. You dig me? But that, and just what, them backyard fights, backyard boxings, even, on YouTube and everything, man, those are gladiator arenas, man. Those are gladiator arenas where only a certain type of individual got the heart enough to get in there and run that, brawl out. You do it at a world championship level. This sport is violent. It's brutal. This is the most brutal sport on the planet. More people die in boxing than any other sport. So for you to turn around and sue a nigga, now granted, you could say, yo, man, well, because of that, that's more of a reason for him to go and fight and sue him. And you may have a point to that, man, but just the integrity that comes with that, fam, like, you lost, it is what it is. Go get that get back in blood, man. When Miguel Cotto got smacked on by fucking Antonio Margarito, and it came to the light that he had plaster in his raps, oh, yeah, we got to run that back. And even in that face-off, he wasn't in there. He just, he's, okay. You know that look you get when you pissed at a nigga, you ready to take it there? But you got to be calm due to the situation that you in. You can't wild out right now, so you squint your eyes and you just nod your head. Or you shake your head like, bro, you, like, my nigga, you don't even know what I'm about to do to you. That was the energy that he was bringing to Antonio Margarito in that face-off. That's warrior mentality right there, man. You talk about, I'm going to make sure he plays for it in the ring and outside of the ring. Like, man, I don't nobody want to hear that shit, bro. There's no getting around how corny this shit looks. You look like a cold sucker right now. A cold sucker. So, it's just the language of the lawsuit, man. Battery, bro. That is nasty work. That's the worst part of all of this shit, man. You gonna sue a nigga for battery. As a professional fighter, I'm gonna sue you for beating me the fuck up. There's no justification for that shit, homie. There's no justification for that shit. This shit looks weak. This shit look weak as fuck. Go get your get back. The only way to justify that that type of beatdown, they took the O from you, but we didn't unsee what it is that we saw. The only way to rectify that shit is through bloodshed. Not through litigation and legalese and all that, my nigga. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. At this point in time, after that nappy-headed shit that Henry said, Ryan's dad, and then the rant that he went on after the fight, that little racist rant he went on after the fight, lawsuits is the last thing that needs to be the least of your worries. Go get that shit back in blood, because at this point in time, it ain't just about you. You got to do this on behalf of all of us. All of us. So I'm not trying to hear that shit, man. You trying to sue a nigga because for battery, man, that shit is lame, my nigga. That shit is lame. Battery. That's the key word in all of this. Battery. Suing another fighter for battery. You battered me in the ring, so I'm gonna sue you for battery. Come on, man. Come on. This is a byproduct of fighters wanting to preserve their perfection. Perfection. I'm undefeated because everybody wants to retire undefeated. Man, come on. No, nigga, everybody don't get to retire undefeated. You should already have a loss on your resume from that Lomachenko fight. Get on your shit, man. Just get in the gym, work on that deficiency on the attack, and go into the rematch well prepared, a lot better prepared. You dig? You got hit once in the first round, and from rounds 2 to 7, I want to say you dominated. Ain't no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that again. This time, stick with the game plan, and don't plant your feet as much. But you suing this nigga is some cornball shit, man. If it ain't no real nigga on your team that's gonna tell you that, then you need a new team. No real niggas suing niggas, man. We real niggas out here. You talk about see you in court ass niggas, man. Hell no. That shit ain't commendable. That shit ain't admirable, and it's unbecoming of a fucking former undisputed world champion. It's unbecoming of a 2-division world champion. Get your head out your ass and get in the gym, homie, and get it back in blood, not the courtroom.